Well, welcome everyone. I think we're just waiting for Bianca. She mentioned that she would be joining us.
I'm here, Irene.
Oh, you were? Okay, I didn't see you. Sorry. Thank you everyone for joining us. As mentioned, we had hoped to make this an in-person meeting, but schedules didn't work out with the facility and the school, but we're hopeful that for August, we will have an in-person meeting and have just as beautiful weather. But I did want to welcome you to our July Neighborhood Association meeting. We hold these typically on the second Monday of the month. My name is Irene Cabañas. I'm the president of the association. And I want to introduce our two other board members. Favi Silva, you want to introduce yourself?
Favi, you're muted. While we're waiting for her to unmute, I'll introduce myself. My name is Bianca Marchese. I live on 10th and Parton, and I'm the vice president of the Willard Neighborhood Association.
Oh, hi, my name is Favi, and I'm the treasurer of this group. And yeah, I didn't know I was a mute.
Welcome, and it looks like we have a few new faces. Oh, you know what? I apologize. Let me pause for a moment and just do a few more housekeeping items. Alyssa, do you mind walking us through this, please?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. So for tonight's meeting, there are two ways to participate. If you can use the raise your hand feature, if you have a question or you have a comment to make, or you can also type it in the chat box or in the Q&A box. And if anyone is dialing in, you will be dialing *9 to raise your hand and then dial *6 to unmute. We also have Spanish interpretation available. Si alguien necesita interpretación en español, si está disponible, por favor levante la mano o escriba en el chat que lo necesitan y lo puedo aprender para que tengan interpretación esta noche. Thank you.
Thank you, Alyssa. Let's go ahead and just finish introductions. We have a few new people today. See, Andrew Burris.
Hi, yeah, I'm Dr. Andrew Burris. I'm new to the neighborhood. I moved here about a year ago, and I'm in the same community as Bianca.
Oh, welcome.
Thanks.
Glad to have you. And it looks like we have another person, Sumit.
Sumit, you're up.
Yeah, hi, I'm Sumit Raghuvanshi. I also live in the same neighborhood as Bianca. I've been living here since 2016, and I really haven't heard of this association until recently. So it's good that we have something.
Welcome. We are a newer group. We just got together at the start of the pandemic. A few of us were working from home and noticed, you know what, it's best if we participate in our local community and have a say as to the activities here. And let's see, Rosario Gutierrez, welcome. And it looks like we have Steve on the line as well. Welcome.
And Daniel Bastion is also my neighbor in the same complex that I'm in.
Oh, great. Well, welcome everyone. We know hot topic for everyone. We're going to just go ahead and dive right in. Is the new trash vendor that we just launched service July 1st. So just a little bit of history here. The city vetted quite a few agencies and they netted out with the Republic Services as the new trash vendor. Previously, we had Waste Management. And if you recall, at the end of the Waste Management, for the last couple of months, there were some trash issues with trash not being picked up regularly. We're at one point, right, we had two sets of trash cans. We had the Waste Management trash cans and then the Republic one. So we were working through that. And most recently, now that Republic Services has taken over, there have been quite a few issues as far as missed pickup and some other issues. So the city has provided an 800 number for us to be able to call and get updates. It is, in my personal experience, has been a bit of a challenge to get through, but they are responsive. But what we can do in today's call is collectively take note of any issues that are coming up. And we'll share that with our council member, Jonathan Hernandez. He has asked that any community issues that we're having and we're not getting resolution on, he can help us out with that. And then we can also collectively as an association go and make sure that these issues are resolved. So with that, I'll go ahead and open the floor. So please select the icon to raise your hand if you'd like to give a comment, or you can also do that on your phone. Okay, Sumi, it looks like you raised your hand. Go ahead.
Yeah, this trash situation is, what I wanted to bring up was I've tried to email Councilman Hernandez and I've not heard a response back. My community just got service today for their trash, but the trash vendor did not pick up any of the overflow trash. And I have 2 dogs and I go on regular walks with them throughout the day. The Republic guy who picked up the trash, I saw it was one gentleman. He had to take out the dumpster, load the dumpster in the truck, and put the dumpster back. So it's just, to me, I'm unsure as to, when you said the city vetted Republic, they're completely short-staffed. I'm wondering why this issue wasn't brought up with how short-staffed they are. Also, today we had a small little association meeting, and we were commenting that other communities in the Willard community were getting service and other streets were not getting serviced. Right now, we have a huge trash situation right next to my place, and the dumpster was taken out and is now completely full again because of basically a week's worth of trash getting back into the dumpster. It's creating a real big havoc, and I understand that we have this hotline and everything, but it's not working. And we need an immediate solution to this. I was hoping that Councilman Hernandez would join today's, but I guess not.
Yeah, he wasn't able to join today's call, and typically he lets us know if that's not a possibility. When we do it, we'll collect these comments for him and set up a meeting with him. He does ask that we copy his, he has a city staff assistant that helps him schedule issues and comments that he needs to get back. So we'll make sure that that person is copied as well.
I actually copied her because we had a situation with waste management.
Okay.
And after I threatened to dump the trash in the middle of the street, I got a resolution to the issue with waste management.
Okay.
And the issue that we're having is that because we have a 14-unit community, the dumpsters are right next to my unit. There is a rat and rodent infestation issue. We've already seen a bunch of cockroaches in there. And so my thing is this: if Republic is unable to fulfill our contract, then I think my community may need to hire a third-party vendor to take out the trash to the dump. That bill that we get from that vendor, do we submit it to the city? And I need to know the address and name of whom we can seek reimbursement with, because we're essentially in a breach of contract mode right now by Republic.
Sure. Alyssa, do you have any suggestions on a course of action or where we can go to for an issue like this?
Yeah, so our office has been receiving a lot of complaints, like condominiums, regarding their trash not being picked up. Same issue, having a rodent issue. So I know internally we have a public works staff who is in charge of that agreement with Republic Services. So we've been providing her these complaints. So I can email her directly just to let her know. But who would be the point of contact for the place that you live?
Well, I guess my question is this: it's not necessarily a point of contact with regards to complaints, but it's a point of contact to send our bills to, because since we have to hire somebody else to do what has been contracted by the city on our behalf, and they're not fulfilling their obligations for the contract, we may need to hire a third-party vendor to take our trash to the trash heap. And then that bill that we get, we want to submit to the city because the city or Republic is in breach of contract at this point.
Yeah, so
Right,
that
because
could be
we're an intended third-party beneficiary to this agreement. And now because of the breach, and it's a pretty substantial breach, and we need to get rid of the trash. So that's whom I'm requesting, is whom do I send these bills to, so I can get my community can get reimbursed.
So I would have this discussion with her. Her name's Christy Kindig. And I would ask her if that's, something that can be done. But yeah, she's the one in charge of that agreement with Republic Services between the city and Republic. So she would probably be able to provide more insights. But if you can provide me with your contact information,
Yeah.
That way I can forward that along to her and your concerns.
And then the other thing is, I'll put in the chat right now. I'll put my email and everything. But the other issue that I have, and I think a lot of members of my community have the same issue, is why, the only way I found out about this trash issue was through the My Santa Ana app, which is fantastic. But why weren't there notices given to members of the community saying there's an interruption of service? If somebody didn't have the app, like some of the members in our community are not tech savvy and do not have these apps, they didn't know. So why weren't adequate notices given to members saying that there's a trash issue?
Yeah, that's a valid point. I know that our PIO, the city's PIO, sends out notices, but yeah, it's through email or, social media. I'm not sure what other avenues he uses, but yeah, that is a valid point. I'm not sure if they sent out like physical mail notices. But yeah, that can be something that could be brought up. So, have a better way of communicating with those that, you're right, aren't tech savvy. And it's a lot of our residents.
Alyssa, do you have information to contact the PIO to let them know that we have community members that aren't aware that this is an issue, and that, maybe paper documentation or mailings or something like that need to go out? Is that something that you can be the liaison for, or is that something Margarita can do, or is that something that I can reach out to the PIO and let them know that this is an issue, or how should we rectify this?
Yeah, I can. It's Paul Eakins. He's our PIO. I'm not sure what the agreement is in terms of like sending notifications from Republic Services, or if like it should be solely Republic Services sending those out. But yeah, I can ask him. So that can be two items that can be brought up. So Christy Kindig in terms of like the trash concerns, and then Paul Eakins in terms of communicating.
And thank you so much for being so proactive with the contacts and everything. But the situation, especially in my community, got pretty bad earlier today with our trash situation. Our bin is full again because the guy who took it only took what was in the bin, but nothing on the side. And it's becoming, people here are getting really angry. And I'm on a board here, and I have to hear these people complain. And there's nothing I can really do. So it's creating a huge problem with this. I was wondering, is this issue going to be brought up at a city council meeting, or could there be a demand made for an emergency city council meeting to address these trash situation?
Yeah, that could be something that you could bring up with like your council member, or for the next upcoming meeting, that you want to have that on the agenda, or that you want to make a public comment. Let me check when the next meeting is. I'm not sure if it's tomorrow. No, it might be the following Tuesday.
The other form of communication that has been used in the past that I'm not sure why it hasn't been used this time is the telephone call system, where it calls all of the numbers of any resident in Santa Ana and leaves a message. And I believe both English and Spanish.
That would be nice. I haven't received a single phone call or notice through the mail or really an email. It was really just through the app, and it wasn't even that. You had to click on something to get what was going on. So I'm a little disappointed with how the city is handling this, especially the Congress or councilman has been handling this as well. There were people in my community threatening to dump all of our trash in an empty lot on the corner of Flower and 10th earlier today, because that's just the level of frustration that we have right now. And quite frankly, I only got action with waste management last time by threatening to dump all the trash in the middle of the street. So, I mean, I hate going that route, but it's becoming more than just a nuisance.
No, all very valid points. And, you know, that's what I missed in some of the, I did see the social media communications and the emails, but they didn't provide any steps we could take except for calling the number. But there were no, I did see a note that they were going to do some pickups on Sunday, but I could see that as an immediate solution for the complex where you're at, is that they do another pickup this week.
So Irene, something I have my hand up because I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I know you're in a single family home. Are you having issues with pickups, or is it, I guess I'm just trying to figure out, is it like a multifamily issue, or is the entire city not getting picked up? Because the last time we had trash picked up in this particular complex was before July 1st. So today was the first day that Republic Services has picked up trash in our complex since they took over the contract. So I'm just curious, this is the second, I know our neighborhood gets trash picked up on Monday. So last Monday was the 4th. Clearly that was a holiday. So was your trash picked up on the 5th?
Only the trash, but not the recycle. It was spotty. And it was like midweek. Our recycle has been out there for a whole week. But to hear that today was the first time since July 1st is just unacceptable. That's
right.
Wow.
And just to add what Bianca was saying, when we had an issue with waste management last month. And waste management, I think the issue started in early to mid-June. And waste management said, well, we're not going to pick it up, but let's just wait till July 1st starts, and that's when Republic will pick it up. So basically go pound sand. And that's when we were able to finally figure out the situation. That's when I threatened to dump the trash out, and the city got involved. So I guess our concern right now is that the city, even though they have these features, they're not really helping us out at this point, and it's becoming a more issue. And I think I would like to see if we can make, as a community, an emergency council meeting to bring this up to them.
Alyssa, did you check when the next council meeting is?
I believe it is next week. They don't have it listed on here.
Yeah, it's
it should be the 19th.
Every other Tuesday, and it's not tomorrow. So
yeah, so the 19th is the next meeting.
But
we have been getting calls from other condominiums as well, and same issue. They haven't had their trash picked up, since last month. So yeah, we've been hearing it. It's citywide, and that's a major issue.
Alyssa, who do we contact to request an emergency meeting? Is there somebody that we can contact to request that, or would it be Jonathan's office, or how do we go?
It would be the city manager's office, and I can give you guys their number. Yeah, so the city manager's office would be in charge of that.
Do you mind throwing that in the chat so that we have that information? Thank you.
Okay, let's give a few more folks an opportunity to comment. Samit, you had your hand raised.
Oh no, I already spoke. I don't know why it's so loud.
Sorry. Okay. Daniel. Bastian.
Hi.
Hi, Daniel.
Hi. I was going to the whole Republic trash issue. That phone number you have posted there, I believe that's Republic's direct line, correct?
Correct. Yes.
Good, because I see it on my phone, posted a call every day since July 5th. And every single time I would call them, they would say it will happen within 24 hours. I've tried contacting Councilman Hernandez's office multiple times. I've honestly gone through it here, and I'm just trying to figure out why everybody's got their heads in the sand.
Yeah, I think we need to escalate this to a higher level. And Christy Kindig is the person that walked us through the change in vendor. And she said in our meeting that we could reach out to her with any questions or concerns. And then if at the highest level, it would be the city manager's office reaching out to them. So we can do that collectively as a neighborhood association. I think, Bianca, your condo board should reach out as well with that concern. And I think together, if we reach out, but what would be helpful in these types of situations I have seen is to have a call to action. What is it that we're immediately requesting? And I think what we're immediately requesting is almost an emergency pickup, right? Would that be the ideal that they do?
Well, that's the beginning. The problem is I'm getting sick of having to pressure wash feces and waste out of the area where our dumpster is. And, you know, every time we do this, this is getting worse and worse. And this is going back to the waste management days, their final days where they refuse to do pickups. And my primary concern here is I've tried to go through the right channels, but nobody seems to either have the resources or the time to answer, especially in an election year. That's kind of a frightening thought for a councilman, right?
Definitely.
Alyssa, is there, I know you put the phone number on there, but is there also an email so that we can have a quote unquote paper trail of times that we have tried to reach out to these folks? And, you know, in addition to calling, which I will start doing tomorrow, but I'd like to have something where I can say, I emailed you on this date at this time, you know, so on and so forth. So, you know, that I can have a paper trail.
Yeah, I'll look for an email, and I'm also going to provide you with Christie's email address as well.
And I just want to say, Alyssa, I hope you're not feeling like we're mad at you because you're representing the city, because I know that you are doing everything you possibly can to get us that information. So I thank you in advance for frantically searching and finding the information that we need. I'm sure that because you sit through so many of these neighborhood association meetings, this is the familiar song now. You're hearing over and over again the frustration of Republic Services and how rocky this transition has been from Waste Management to Republic. So thank you for all of your hard work.
And I'm really thankful for all the comments today. I had no idea that the issue was that grave with some of the multi-family unit homes. So this is definitely going to be hot on our list for as a neighborhood association to add to the pressure that this needs to get taken care of.
Bobby, you're in an apartment. Are you seeing the same thing where you're not getting picked up regularly? Not you, but the trash isn't getting picked up regularly?
Yeah, me and my husband have to like put our trash can in the balcony because even to go to throw the trash, it was packed. You couldn't even open the door to throw the trash in there.
Yep.
So we had to keep it there. And then there was an issue where we went to work and I came back and the cats went through the trash can and left a huge mess.
Yep.
For a whole week.
Yep.
Okay, let's see, next, Andrew, would you like to comment?
Yeah, I just want to kind of echo that gratitude for you both, Alyssa and Irene, for listening to us on this issue. And yeah, like Dan said, you know, an emergency pickup would be helpful, but that would last us about 24 hours, and then things are just piling up again, because we do get, for the size of our community and the room that we have for a single dumpster, we do get pickups normally twice a week. So being almost 2 weeks behind, you know, that's a lot of pickups that have been missed. So when they did the pickup today, my wife and I went out there and put an entire dumpster's worth of trash in the bin, and it's already overflowing again. And so it's kind of become a public safety, public health issue at this point, as you know, they mentioned about the rodents and insects and those kind of things. So, you know, if we can get Republic out here again in a couple of days, that's fine. But then we really, you know, we've got to figure out how we can plan ahead. Can we get them back on schedule and when, so that I can plan a little bit more proactively. I am on the HOA board, and I need to know, do I need to hire someone to come out and take a load of stuff to Brea Linda dump for, $100 or whatever it costs. So, because we want to avoid having that stuff pile up for so long, especially in the summer heat. So, yeah, I think maybe those contacts that you have given us are much appreciated. I think if we reach out to those and try to put some pressure, we just need answers. If they would just tell us, yeah, it's going to be another week or it's going to be 2 weeks, then we can plan. But with this lip service we're getting from Republic, yes, tomorrow, they'll be there tomorrow, and then tomorrow, then we just keep getting tomorrow. So, and I've heard they're extremely short-staffed, and we're all sensitive to that too. But we just need them to be straight with us so we can figure out a plan. But again, thank you so much for your time and your resources on this. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Andrew. Bianca and Fabi will be very familiar with this, but we could really use our 2 of those big dumpsters that we typically get once a quarter. I wonder if that could be a possible solution, that they bring a dumpster, let us clear things out for what has been backed up, and then take it away.
That's a great idea. I don't know, Andy, Dan, and Sumit, but I don't know if you know this, but every 3 months, right by the Willard Park on 15th and Parton, we get 1 or 2 of the giant dumpsters, and people can put, like large bulky items in there 4 times a year. It's usually on garage sale weekend, but Irene, that's a great idea. If Republic can bring one of those big, 1 or 2 of them, especially because there are so many multifamily units in this neighborhood that are just getting more and more backed up. If we can just, clear everything out and then get Republic back on track and back on the normal schedule, then we won't have this backlog like we do right now. That's a great idea.
Alyssa, would I check with Narcy? That's who we usually book those with, or would this be a different?
So actually Narcy left us, she retired. Like we didn't even know about it. She just didn't come to work. So yeah, we're still trying to figure out how we're going to roll out the neighborhood dumpster program. Margarita wants to do it by mid-August, since it'll give us time to, meet with the new contacts at Republic Services and actually set up a process. But yeah, I'll provide information once I receive it, but it won't be until like mid-August.
Okay, yeah, we'll need a more immediate solution before then.
Maybe that's something Christy can help facilitate right now until that position is filled.
Right.
Yeah.
Daniel, you had a comment?
Yeah, just a quick suggestion. What if we had Republic bring a dumpster out on the day of pickup, actually schedule a time if that's even possible. And then going forward, we load up that dumpster to get rid of the overflow.
Yeah, definitely. That's along the lines of what we're thinking of. They do, well, when we had waste management, there were just dumpsters that were brought out to the communities. But that's something that we're going to reach out to Christy, who manages the vendor, and ask if that's a possible solution, because it does seem like, yes, one thing is we need this to be back on a regular schedule, but there still needs to be a solution for the backlog of the 2 to 3 weeks that you haven't gotten service.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I was just, like I said, it was just a thought. Thank you.
No, it's a good idea.
A good idea.
Do we know if we're, sorry, this is totally changing the subject really quick. Do you know if we have a Ana Pd Liaison today? Doesn't look like it, right?
Doesn't look like it. No, not today.
Bummer. It'd be nice to know what's going on with that 7-Eleven thing. I know it's not in the Willard neighborhood, but it's really stinking close. So, all right.
What happened with 7-Eleven?
On 7-Eleven or 17th and Spurgeon, which is just like 1 block up from Broadway, there was a fatal shooting this morning.
Oh.
Yeah.
My goodness. I did not know that. We were just at 7-Eleven on Flower and 17th earlier today getting our free Slurpees. So
yeah. It's at the one that's a little bit closer to the 5 freeway. That one that's on the right-hand side as you're going toward the
Like
freeway.
6 in the morning, 6:30 in the morning. I saw a bunch of cups there, but I didn't know it was that.
Yep.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Maybe they're busy working that case. Maybe that's why they're not here. I don't know.
Possibly. Okay, so I think we have all comments heard. So as a next step, as an association, we'll send a note out tonight to Christy and to the city manager as well with our concerns. And what we're asking for is an immediate pickup or an immediate solution this week, right? For some of the multifamily residences that haven't been fulfilled. And the concern is that trash, today was the first day that trash was picked up since July 1st, but that doesn't cover because that's how many services missed. That's like 3 services missed.
3. Yeah.
3.
Yeah.
And the impact that it's having is the rodent and infestation issues. And
Rodents, cockroaches, even possums, raccoons. I mean, all of those critters are getting into all of this garbage.
And I would also like to add that if they can't create a solution for this or not have an immediate solution, then at least the Emerald Terrace HOA will have to hire a third-party vendor and we'll submit bills for reimbursement to the city.
right.
Because we're considering this as a breach of contract at this point.
Okay. Okay, so I'll send those out tonight on behalf of the Neighborhood Association. I'll copy you, Bianca and Fabio, if you want to send those out to your contacts. And then it'd be great if the Neighborhood Association does that as well. I'll copy John. It's great to copy Jonathan on that. Anything that we send to the city manager and that sort of thing, we typically copy him. I'm sure he's inundated, but our community is unique. Over 80% of residents are in multifamily homes, much different than other parts of the community. So, we don't want this to get to, it seems like it's already at a critical stage. And I'm glad that it's being brought up now because I didn't realize it was this severe.
Yeah, it's bad. And like you said, most of our community live in multifamily units. So it's not something that we can sit on for sure.
Right. Okay, any other comments on this particular issue?
My issue is that the trash can vendors, they're smaller now. Maybe we can maybe get them to give us a bigger one, like the one we had for waste management, because they're very small for apartments.
So your bulk trash bin is smaller?
They look smaller. Like we have a bunch of trash, that's why.
I know the single family residences, they gave us automatically small bins and you had to request a larger one. I'm still waiting for my large one. I mean, in our household, my husband's taking our trash to his workplace. That's how we're dealing with it, but not everybody has that option.
Nor should we have to do
Right.
that, honestly. I mean,
Right.
it's crazy. Dan has been doing the same thing. He's been taking some of his trash to his work, but it's not what we should be doing when we're taxed so high in the city of Santa Ana. We should be getting the services that we pay for,
Right. I'll
Yeah,
ask.
we pay $400 a month for trash service here, and it's just not getting done. So it's frustrating.
No, and I hear that for sure.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm just wondering if with all these problems, and this is just the beginning of the contract, and I know initially they said that everybody was saying that the Republic was vetted. I'm really just curious as to the vetting process on this, because it doesn't seem that it was properly vetted, in my opinion. I mean, some people had smaller trash cans from before, drivers not being able to come. I mean, this is kind of ridiculous, and it's just the beginning of the contract term.
Mhm. Alyssa, I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about how that was vetted. I did see, was a little bit involved in that process. I was at the council meeting. It was an extensive vetting that they did, not just on the price structure of who could come in at a certain level, but they also looked at how far were the drivers driving to dump the trash. They didn't want to make it that they were driving too far out. And how many drivers were they hiring from Santa Ana? So they looked at things like that and whether they were union or not. So there's a lot of factors that went into it. And I know that's one of the issues, that some of the drivers they thought they would be hiring from Waste Management did not come on as employees. But Alyssa, I don't know if you have any other information you can add about the vetting process.
Yeah, so the city sent out a request for proposals, and about 4 companies submitted. And then they did like a grading scale system based on which company they thought was the best. But I can actually look for the agreement or the council agenda, and you could kind of read up as to like how the decision was made and like the point system that the council used. So yeah, I can look that up and then put it in the chat.
I do remember when this was all going on that Republic had made a lot of promises. We were going to get trash cans in neighborhoods, and they were going to offer pickup 7 days a week of bulky items and things like that. Now, granted, I know it's only been 11 days since the contract has been enforced, but I'm just curious, when are we going to see those things? When are the trash cans coming? And this is more rhetorical. I'm not really looking for an answer, but I'm just curious if we're already having this rocky start, are they going to be able to fulfill all those promises that they made, not only to the neighborhood associations, but to the city as a whole? So again, rhetorical, just kind of a statement, but just curious, are they going to be able to do that and fulfill what they promised?
Right, and at which point do they, are they, like somebody is saying, they're in breach of contract? At what point do you start, looking at an alternative vendor? I don't know if the city, I'm surprised at how severe the situation is. I didn't realize it, and I don't know if the city understands how severe it's getting.
With respect, the city knows, and they're really not doing much. And so, I mean, I'm really disappointed with how Waste Management ended its term, and I'm equally more disappointed how Republic is starting their term. So I think if we don't take action now, it's gonna be like this, and we're gonna have this continuous problem, like everybody was saying.
Well, yeah, if we let them behave like this, and they're going to think that they're able to do this for the rest of the 10 years that we have them. So we need to hold them to account now and make sure that they're doing what they said they were going to do and what we're paying them to do, quite honestly.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Okay, well, we will follow up and keep everybody posted. I wonder if we should put up on social media for folks to send in any photos, or because nothing tells a story like a photo. Like any photos we can gather, video, Bianca, some of the videos you've shared with us of people, driving crazy in the streets. I think if we gather some data like that and information, that'll help make our case stronger.
Yeah, I'm happy to go out and take pictures. Fabi, if you can go take a picture at your place. I mean, and Andy or Sumit, did you guys happen to take pictures, or Dan, before it got cleaned up today?
Not today, but I think I have a photo from the last time it was really bad. Yeah, I'm looking now. I have a couple pictures of trash piling up. And my wife just told me she has one from yesterday where it's just horrible maggots. It's just, it's disgusting. So I can, what do you recommend? Is there, like I'm kind of an Instagram guy, Facebook guy, tag the city? Are there certain, accounts that we should tag, or what's the best way to handle that?
I would tag Councilman Hernandez for sure. He's very active on Instagram, so make sure that he's aware for sure.
Okay, great. Yeah, we'll do that as well, and ask folks to share any comments or anything else that they would like for us to share out to the city about this issue on social media. Because like we said, not everybody is as connected with, and I wonder if we need to put any signs up like in the park area for folks to share their experience. Okay.
I think that's a good idea, Irene. If we can just have them like email it to the Willard email, and then we can be the point of contact to start forwarding some of those photographs. You know that these apartment complexes are overflowing. If 14 units here are overflowing, imagine like where Fabi lives. There's how many units in there? There's a lot of units. So imagine how bad it is there. So
It's really bad because we have more than 200.
yeah.
Wow.
Like up to 300 rehab units.
Okay. Okay, yeah, we'll get some kind of communication out there.
What about reaching out to news outlets? Has anyone considered that, or is it just, you know, not really anything anyone's going to care about?
The
Just a
problem
thought.
with that is there's not enough people doing it. When we had the issue with waste management, they were stating, like ABC7 openly said, if there was like more than like 5 or 10 households reporting this, then yeah, we definitely jump on board. But if it's just a single household, it's like not our problem.
I think if it gets to that, I could see that as an avenue. I do see a benefit in reaching out to Christy first and the city manager, seeing if we can get some immediate action. And if it stays severe, like into next week, I can see us grouping together. We can, you know, collect some data as to how many units or properties this is happening to, and then do some outreach there.
And not to interrupt anybody, I just emailed Councilman Hernandez while we were on this Zoom chat, and he responded back, and he CC'd Director Nabal Saba, who is apparently going to be working on the issue. So,
Alyssa, do you know who that is?
Yeah, he's the public works director, so he's Christy Kindig's boss.
Yeah, that's definitely the right folks to reach. So glad to see that something's being done. Okay. Well, let's finish up our meeting here. Just wanted to remind everybody that we have a really great event coming up Sunday, August 21st from 4 to 7. It's going to be in the Willard Intermediate parking lot area. And the goal of the project, we're partnering up with Santa Ana Active Streets. It's to help make the streets of Santa Ana safer for pedestrians, bicyclists, strollers, dog walkers, anyone and everyone. And the way we're doing this is by bringing to highlighting some new ways to think about how to make our streets safe. So in a perfect world, for example, Violeta, the raspado vendor that's on the corner of 15th and Parton, instead of the folks eating their raspado and treats on the sidewalk, what if there was a little parklet, like the first image that you see right next to it? Instead of 2 cars parked there could be a little parklet. People could enjoy their treat. When there's things like a parklet, people tend to slow down. It makes them more aware that, okay, there's a community here. I can't be driving fast in this area. So it's not to say that the city will start installing parklets in our community, but it just helps us imagine a safer way to have a community. So another example is there's data that shows that when there's art walk in a crosswalk, it makes people, people tend to slow down and look at the artwork. So that's another thing that we're going to explore. We're not necessarily going to put real artwork on a crosswalk, but we're going to explore that idea. And so we're going to have some fun things for the family: music, art projects, games, photo booths. We have a few sponsors that are interested already, some snacks and refreshments. And Bianca, I know we'd like to get Project Kinship to participate.
Great.
So if you wouldn't mind reaching out to them and seeing if there's interest, I'll email you some more information.
Great. Happy to do that.
But I know we're going to be inviting the water department from Santa Ana and a few other groups. But if you would like to participate in planning this event, volunteering the day of, or if you know of a community organization that we should be reaching out to that could help participate in this event, definitely let us know. And then just to add, we did select Sunday, August 21st. It's a couple of weeks after school starts. School starts back up again, I think on the 15th or 17th of August, so that we can get the parents involved from Willard Intermediate and the students. And it tends to be Sunday afternoon tends to be a time when most everyone's at home relaxing. So we're hoping that they come over once they hear the music, see that we're giving out some free food. They want to come by and participate. Samit, you have your hand raised?
Yes, is part of the focus on this also going to be for people to stop at stop signs? I've almost gotten run over about 100 times now, walking my dogs, and I've got an attitude from a bunch of people, mostly actually from people dropping off their kids from preschool and just really ignoring stop signs. I'm not sure if our stop signs are too covered or not well lit. I've yelled at a bunch of people during my walks as well. I sound crazy, but it's becoming more than just a nuisance for me personally.
No, Sumit, we know that this is an issue. We've talked about it several times at our at these meetings, and we had Public Works has been at our meetings a couple of times. No, traffic safety, right?
Mm-hmm. Traffic engineers, yes.
Traffic engineer, yeah. So we've asked for speed bumps, we've asked for like a roundabout or just something in the community to slow people down, because we know that this is an issue, especially on Parton between 17th and Civic Center. For some reason, people use it as like a dang highway, a freeway or whatever. So we do know that this is an issue. So Sumit, if you can give me specific intersections or crossing areas where you are seeing the most incidents where people are not stopping, let me know, because we're funneling all of that information along with the video from my Ring camera on 10th and Parton to the traffic engineer to make our case. We need, like I said, speed bumps or something to slow people down on these streets. Because Irene, you can help me with the data, but it's something like 87% of our community walks at some point, like to the grocery store or whatever. There are a lot of people in our neighborhood who don't have vehicles. And so their only mode of transportation is either walking or the bus or something, or bikes. And so we know it's a big issue here, but we're trying to get the city to understand how big of an issue it is. So.
Yeah, one issue is by the Willard Intermediate School. Yep. The crosswalks coming towards off of Ross and Washington, okay, and Parton and yep, Washington. Yep. Massive issues. I've literally almost gotten run over. I'm not joking with 100 times since 2020. Yep. So yeah, and then I get attitude from these people too. I give it back, but still.
Not you, Sumit. No. But yeah, we do know it's an issue, and like I said, Irene, Bobby, myself, we have been working with the traffic engineers to like tell them like this is seriously an issue. And every time we have donuts at 10th and Parton, I send them a video. Every time we have, something crazy, I send videos. So like Irene was saying, nothing tells a story like a video or a photograph. And so we're collecting all that data to make sure that the traffic department knows, like, we're not just saying this for our health, like it really is an issue here in this neighborhood.
I think another problem is our stop signs are kind of covered up too. So I think some people may have difficulty seeing the stop sign, or maybe it's not lit up correctly. I know some neighborhoods that put flashers on stop signs. Maybe that could be it, but people just don't care in some respects, and they don't care that they might hit somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's kind of apathy as well.
Yeah, and it's crazy. So what is it going to take? We've said this to them. What is it going to take? Someone to die? Like, come on, this is not okay.
No, and we have had reported fatalities, and more than anything, they're called near misses, where just like what you said, Sumit, that, had the pedestrian not been defensive, there would have been an incident there. The other thing the factor that comes into play is we are positioned in a way where people are trying to get to the Civic Center. So if they're avoiding Flower or they're avoiding Broadway, they're going to cut through our neighborhood. And it's that traffic that's not used to seeing a ton of pedestrians that a lot of times is causing some of this. So one thing that the traffic engineers asked us is to collect as much community feedback as possible in an organized way. So that's one of the main reasons we're having this event. We are going to be collecting data. So to have folks like on a map draw, what are those areas of concern? What are the near misses? There's Berkeley invented a database where people can enter every incident that they have. So that's an initiative we're going to be kicking off, because of the more data we show them of all these incidences happening, you know, it's not enough of a situation where you're going to call a police officer to report a crime, but we need to somehow have this data recorded. Okay, so we hope to see you all out there, and if you'd like to participate in planning, definitely let us know. Just a couple more updates here. So there's our friend Jonathan Hernandez. You know, the space on Flower and 10th, we hope it doesn't get filled with trash. So we hope that it doesn't come to that, but there are plans to eventually turn that into a park space. And we know this is an important initiative for Jonathan. We just have to make sure that the trash issues get fixed first. But we do have in August a park discussion coming up. And what happens there is we'll identify a date where we can all meet over at Willard Intermediate. And it's an opportunity for the community to give their feedback on what they would like to see in a park space. So when we had this first discussion in June, it was beautiful to see, you know, the dog walkers really give input on what they would like to see. And the families with little kids, they gave some ideas as well. So this will be slated for August. And as soon as we get a date, we'll make sure to share that out. Samantha, do you have a question, or is that left over from the previous?
That was left over.
Okay.
Sumit, you should actually go to that park thing as a dog walker. Join us.
Oh, I most definitely am.
Irene, you met Dan and his wife Karina at Willard.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yes. Hi, guys. Okay.
Hey.
Thanks for joining today's call. Just wanted to throw this out. There's a really great program, Movies in the Park. Unfortunately, we don't have a park in our community yet, but the two closest parks for us are El Salvador Park over on Civic Center and Santiago Park on Main Street. So just wanted to highlight for everybody that opportunity for Movies in the Park. And then, oh, here's a picture of one of our dumpsters. Our next dumpster day is Saturday, September 3rd. So as Bianca mentioned, it's the first Saturday of garage sale weekend. And it's typically from 9 to 12 noon. We'll have two dumpsters, and the purpose of these dumpsters are for our large bulky trash. But, you know, really, as long as it's not anything hazardous like paint, batteries, that sort of thing, any kind of trash can be thrown in here. So we will have those out on the corner of 15th and Parton, typically two trash cans, two bins, and then we can always use volunteers for that.
A lot of times, just so everyone is aware, on those garage sale weekends, when we have the dumpsters, we'll have a few neighbors that will go around and just kind of pick up trash. We know that, especially around that Willard, the track, there's lots of debris and stuff because of the field. It just blows in that area. So we'll have neighbors that go around with, you know, pickers and trash bags and stuff and just kind of do beautification. It goes back to our mission statement of, you know, wanting to make sure that our neighborhood is safe and beautiful. And we also offer events for the residents.
Yes, for sure. Okay, that wraps our meeting. Our next meeting, I wanted to propose it for August 16th, just due to some schedules. It's the 3rd August of the month, and it will also be right before our Willard Safe Street event on the 21st. So if that works for everyone, it's slated for the 16th at 7 p.m. And again, as soon as we get confirmation, if we can do an in-person meeting, that would be the goal. Otherwise, it will be on Zoom again.
Yeah, that's fine. And just so everyone knows, especially my neighbors, Willard Neighborhood Association has an Instagram. can you go back to that page, Irene? Oh, there you go. And Irene is really, really good about keeping everyone updated of like what's happening in the community, when the next meeting is, you know, all of those kinds of things. So feel free to follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and Irene is really, really great at that, keeping you updated.
Yes.
I really wanted to recommend if you wanted to ask people to join your email list, if they can type their email in the chat, if they're interested on receiving notifications from you.
Oh, great idea. Yes, we are going to be starting an email program where we send out some updates and then a notice in advance of the monthly meetings. So yes, please add your email address to the chat and we'll make sure you get added. And we do have 2 spots open on our board. If you are interested in being a board member, Bianca or Fabi, do you want to give any color on what it's like to be a board member?
It's really low key. Irene is amazing, and unfortunately for her, but fortunately for us, she does a lot of the heavy lifting. But she's wonderful. We do a couple, 2-3 events a year, and it's really fun to see the kids come out in the community. And the last one we did was at St. Peter. We had snow cones, and it was for Day of the Children, and it was great. So it's nice to get to know our neighbors. It's nice to kind of keep our eyes out for each other, and to, you know, like I said, just get to know each other. So Irene is definitely the superhero of this association, for sure.
Yeah, like Bianca said, Irene does most of the work, so it's really fun.
Not that it's
helping out
fair.
with the rest of the stuff.
Yeah. And we like to go out for good food and good conversation too, so that's fun.
Yeah. So we need more people to join our group, little tiny group.
Yes, so if you're interested, please let me know. And if there's a certain area that you're passionate about, graphic design or events or grant writing or gardening or anything like that, we can definitely find something for you to help out with.
Thank you everyone for coming. I know that the trash situation is untenable right now, but hopefully we'll get some resolution quickly.
Thank you for setting this up and everything. This is really informative and helpful.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great evening, and we will follow up via email with results on the outreach.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Thanks so
Thank you.
much.
Bye-bye.
Good night, everyone.